I am Rahul Roy, and as we all know that presidential election is going on, and today we are waiting for the results of presidential election. So we are going to talk about presidential election today. So let's go for it. So president, he is the head of Indian state and the first citizen of India. If I talk about the election, president is not directly elected by the people but by the members of electoral college consisting of elected members of both the houses of parliament, elected members of state legislative assemblies, okay, and elected members of union territories, legislative assembly of union territory of Delhi and Puducherry. The nominated members of both the houses of parliament, the nominated members of state legislative assembly, and the elected and nominated members of state legislative council, and the nominated members of legislative assembly of union territory of Delhi and Puducherry do not participate in the election of president. Okay, each member who is participating in the election, each member who is participating in the election of president has a value of his vote. Okay, so how can we consider the value of the vote? There is a formula for the, if I talk about the value of vote of member of legislative assembly, so it is total number of population divided by the total number of population of the state divided by total number of elected members in the state legislative assembly of that state, multiply by 1 upon 1000. That is how we will get the value of vote of MLA. And if I talk about the value of vote of MP, it is total value of the votes of all the MLAs of all state divided by the total number of elected members of parliament. That is how we will get the value vote of MP. So the election of president is done by a system of proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote, and voting is done by a secret ballot box. And to be declared elected in the election of president, okay, the candidate needs to meet a quota, a number of specific a number of specific vote the candidate needs to meet to be elected in the election of president. If I talk about electoral quota, so it is the total number of valid vote polled in the election divided by the number of candidate needs to be elected plus 1 and adding 1 to the quotient. That is how we will get the electoral quota. This is the number which the candidate needs to meet, okay, to be elected in the election of president office. Each voter in the election is given a ballot paper where he needs to give the preference accordingly, like 1, 2, 3, 4 against the name of the candidates, okay, against the name of the candidates. And that is how it is done. In the first phase of the election, the first preference of votes are counted. Okay, if any candidate meet the electoral quota, then it is elected, and if it is not, then this process continue. Okay, and in the first phase, the last member, the lowest preference candidate, is disqualified, and the second preferences of the last one, the last candidate's second preferences are transferred to the next phase. This is how the election of the president happens, and I hope you like this video.